Hey y'all, welcome back to the kitchen. I got tea made if you're thirsty. Oh, and I've got some good peach tea that's good hot. So just decide what you want and we'll fix you some. But right now I want to talk to you a little bit about canning. I've been canning in jars with pressure cookers since I was 21 years old. And there was a little lady that lived on our road, Granny Bowles, loaned me her little avocado colored 7-quart canner with the gauge and all on it, and taught me how to can. Now back then Troy deer hunted a lot and I canned venison and it was wonderful. So since then I've learned to do beef and chicken and all the vegetables. Well, I did vegetables then too from Granny. But I've got to where I make vegetable soup in the summer when all the vegetables are plentiful. And I've got some here that I made in 2016. And I'm trying to use the rest of it up because of the window of it being good. But I'm not afraid to eat it because my seal is good. But anyway, I want to talk to you. If you have, say you come in from church on Sunday. That's the hardest day for me to cook because somehow it seems like I'm not supposed to get up early that day and work. So since the kids are gone, I don't get up and make a big old lunch before we go to Sunday school. And you know that little song, everybody ought to go to Sunday school. Well, we go. So anyway, if I have my vegetable soup, okay, say I had made a brisket and we had leftover brisket, all I have to do is open my jar of soup, add some of the brisket to it, and you've got a delicious meal. There used to be a little barbecue place over at Conroe called the Feed Store, and their vegetable soup was made with their brisket. And ever since then I've loved the smoked meat in my soup. If I don't have anything else, I'll put me some smoked bacon in it. But today, you know, I had done a video with the wontons and the tacos. Well, I had taco meat left over, so I thought, you know what, for supper, I'll just open up a jar of my soup, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it into my pot, and I'm going to add, all I've got to do is add my already cooked hamburger meat that's seasoned with garlic and onions, and I'll have a good little pot of vegetable soup for me and Troy. There are so many advantages to canning. If you had potatoes canned and green beans canned and tomatoes canned, get you some chicken broth, add your leftover meat that you've cooked, open some jars of your canned goods, and you've got a homemade soup that's not high in sodium. It's healthy and good for you. There's just so many ways to use your canned goods. Now I also have Thrive Life products, but I also have my own freeze-dried products. And it's very easy to make soup with 1/4 of a cup of English peas, 1/4 of a cup of corn, 1/4 of a cup of carrots, 1/4 of a cup of green beans, and 1/4 of a cup of dried hamburger and some chicken broth, and you've got some soup that's good. So I'm going to bring the camera down to where you can see, which all I'm going to do is combine my soup and my hamburger meat. I'll make a little pan of cornbread and we'll have a good hearty soup for supper tonight. Okay, here's my jar of, see, my vegetable soup's got a little bit of everything in it, and I'm just going to put it into my pot. And this is just a pint, but that's already 2 cups. So when I add my 1/2 cup of ground beef with the onions and all in it, and stir that around. Now I'm not gonna add any juice, but because Troy really likes stuff more like a stew. I could add some chicken broth or beef broth to it, or make my own with bouillon. But my soup is ready to just heat up, get the cornbread made, and we're going to have a good meal. So that's how easy it is to use your home canned goods. And I'm going to be canning some more soup before too long, and I'll keep up with the price of it and let y'all know. But I think when I canned this, I could do a pint for about 60 cents. And that's covering buying a lot of the stuff that I put in it because I didn't have it in the garden. Well, a little bitty 10-ounce can of vegetable soup in the store is over $1. and you've got a lot of sodium and stuff that you don't even know what's in it. So if you're not a canner, you need to start thinking about canning and watching the videos of the ones of us that do can. And after I get back from vacation, I've got several canning videos coming up that I think y'all will enjoy. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. Now, if I decide that I need some more liquid in this, what I'm going to do is open up a pint of my canned tomatoes and add to it, because it doesn't have a lot of tomatoes in it, and that will just bump the flavor up a little bit. Sometimes I go ahead and add a little bit onion and garlic powder just to flavor it, but my basic needs are here. Now, another thing I do, if I make just like I made the tacos and I have extra meat, I will vacuum pack that, or I'll put it in a freezer, small Ziploc, and get all the air out that I can and date it. And if I need a little handful of meat to make 1 or 2 tacos or to put into soup, it's in the freezer. So for those of you that don't have a freeze dryer, I've got freeze-dried ground beef that I made myself, and I have some that I bought from Thrive Life. But that's an option. Anytime you have a little, even if it's a half a cup of leftover roast beef, freeze it. It'll season 2 to 3 cups of soup. Even if you had bought a can of mixed vegetable soup, you've got meat to put in it. So there's a lot of ways to stretch your grocery budget and to use everything to the last drop without throwing some out and wasting it. I hope this has helped y'all. And if there's something that you would like for me to talk about, or something you'd like for me to show you concerning canning and how I put things together to use my canned goods, or to do it semi-homemade, use a little bit of store-bought and a little bit of cans, let me know in the comments. But if I had a thought about this as a young bride, a lot of those days when I was having to cook a big old meal with a sick young'un to tend to, I could have just pulled out what I had and made a quick meal that was good with a lot less trouble. So I hope this has helped. And I hope you take some of the tips that I'm sharing with you and you take them to heart in your home. And I hope it makes your life a little bit easier to maybe to think about something that you haven't considered before. Now y'all, make you a good supper and feed that family. Don't forget to say your blessing before you eat. The good book says that, you bless it, where if you eat something that's bad for you, it won't hurt you. So be sure you say your blessing. Thank the good Lord for all of His goodness. Be kind to each other. Come back tomorrow for another tip or another good recipe.